welcome back to the NeuralPod for part two.
Hey, thanks a lot for inviting me again. Happy to see you.
Yeah, you as well. I think it was 18 months ago. You was our first guest and still one of our most listened to podcasts around longevity and yeah, what the main reason for getting you back on, I think longevity seems to be more and more in the mainstream now. I have friends talking about longevity that never spoke about it in the past, and I think that's a really great sign for the industry and where it's going. And thought no better time to get you on and talk about recent breakthroughs. And I know you've recently started co-founded Viva City, which is a longevity city, which you can talk us through. And um, you will be hosting an AI agent hackathon as well for longevity, which sounds really
Sure.
exciting. So yeah, over to you, Alexey. And do you want to just fill us in on what you've been up to for the last 18 months? Let's start there.
Yeah, you mentioned progress. Even though I think there is some progress, but I think it is still quite slow. And so, it's not enough just to sit on the couch and see how the wonderful longevity future unfolds. So, we still have way, way more to do than we have done. We still have no drugs in humans which we are sure that will prolong our lifespan. And we can treat some diseases, probably a lot of diseases. We can treat some age-related diseases, but with aging, even with the best known therapies, we're still not quite sure if they work or not on aging. So even though I'm happy that longevity in general is getting more traction, the industry is still it's pre-infancy. It's pre-infancy. It's so small still. It's in such a beginning, and I think there are a lot of opportunities there. And again, this is the most important industry. At the end of the day, almost everyone will give out on a deathbed. Like if you are 80 years old
Mhm.
and you're struggling, you have a lot of age-related diseases. I'd say almost everyone would give out all his or her money, all his or her belongings, just to get to 25 years of age again, and have another several decades. So yeah, with regards to breakthroughs, I'm cautiously optimistic, and probably most cautiously optimistic I am about the thing I saw just recently at one of the biggest longevity conferences called ARDD, Aging Research and Drug Discovery Conference. And it was not on the main agenda because it was too radical. So there is a little subfield in the industry called replacement, which is basically let's try to not to cure aging, but basically replace organs, uh, parts of the brains and probably the whole body, and kind of like a ship of Theseus can be the analogy. So you replace a small part, then another small part, and then you kind of the completely new ship, which is still you. So this is like a small sub industry, and the the thought about it is quite interesting. So the uh, kind of hypothesis is it's way cheaper to grow the whole organism than, for instance, to 3D print an organ. So 3D bioprinting, it has been like a hype sub-industry for 15 years, but it seems to be a dead end because biology doesn't work that way. It doesn't print like cell by cell, and there are like almost the industry has almost nothing to show, just probably a kidney which was transplanted to the rat. So like the thought was, okay, biology is doing that every day. So like we have animals giving birth to their progeny, and in terms of resources, it's quite cheap, just food, and that's it. So what if we could play with the biology and have what people call sack of organs? Like, what if we could just give birth to sacks of organs? And what I've seen at the conference was basically a proof of concept sack of organs. So it was a mouse sack of organs. So they did one in mouse, and you can it looks like a finger, like a fat finger, and you can actually see from the photo, like you can see some organs inside, and the biology is actually like not very complex. They just knock down some genes that are involved in the development of CNS. So that's basically a sack of organs without brain and without nervous system.
When you say sack of organs, so for example, if I was going to get my sack of organs, would it be a replica of my organs, or would it be like, I don't know, get a sheep grown or a pig grown organ or
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah, that's a great question. I will go back to pig grown organs because there was some development there recently as well. But no, it would be your sack of organs, which are probably a little bit gene edited for longevity and for for you can improve a little bit. And I'm talking like theoretically right now, like what will happen in several decades. And there is an ethical dilemma there, and we've seen a lot of dystopian movies when like there are these islands full of people who end up being clones for some rich billionaires, and they just are growing there and having fun, and then they are killed and to be replaced by the brain of a billionaire.
Yeah.
So
What's that
that
film called? Has it got
I
Ewan
think it's
McGregor in?
called. Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but like there are more than one dystopian script like that. So and so like basically you don't want for your clone to be sentient, and this is what where this ethical gray zone lies. And that's why they are exploring how to grow like sack of organs without brain, or if it's possible to even grow without central nervous system as well. So this is huge development. So it means it is possible to do in mouse, and they are doing it now in sheep as well. I can't say the name of the company because they asked me to remain silent, but they will be fundraising quite soon, so they might go public with it. But you understand, this is the technology is still a little bit gray zone in terms of ethics, and so they don't want to erase
Yeah, it's
too much
interesting
of.
because companies normally look for how can they get product market fit, but in this case, once you get the breakthrough, I imagine there'll be a lot of people queuing out the door to, whilst they might not announce it publicly, they'll want to, it'll be a huge breakthrough, I imagine.
Yeah, the thing with product market fit in medicine and biology, that's a little bit easier. So there is a disease, and if it's either you can either cure it or not, and if you cannot cure it, then if therapy works, there is a product market fit. Or if there is nothing to cure this disease, so like anything that has like at least some even small effect size, it will have a product market fit as well. When with organ, basically a sack of organs is it will solve all the organ shortage problem. which is still a huge issue. And there is an interesting thing I read, and it's related to AI, which you are a fan of, and you probably know about it more than me. But like there is this idea that the most amount of organs for transplantations today come from people who die in car accidents, because these are like a good source of organs. Like it's usually young person, more or less fit. Otherwise, people die from age-related diseases, and the organs are not very good fit for transplantations. And with the development of AI-driven cars, which already Tesla and Waymo, I think they showed the data that have like 10 times less accidents. So like and the worst it can be is now. So like they will only get better. So it's a kind of interesting side effect. So we'll have less people for organ transplants, and it will be a way bigger issue. So there will be more people waiting for organs to be transplanted, and not enough organs. So you would need things like these breakthrough technologies like sack of organs. And very interesting development. You mentioned peak organs. So like I think people tried, directly peak organs, but there was a company that was started out of Charge Lab about 7 years ago or so. I think it's called eGenesis or something like that. I can butcher the name, but they basically grow uh, gene engineered organs in pigs that resemble human organs. So they engineer several genes such that for human immune system it looks like a human organ, and it performs a little bit closer to human organs. And about just 2-3 weeks ago, they announced that they are starting the first phase of human trials. So, and this is very controversial technology. Like 7 years ago, it was very hyped, and people read, people told a lot about it. But now it's kind of like the hype is gone, and now they're starting human trials. So I think it will be about 5, 7, or 8 years from now when first sack of organs will enter human trials as well.
Yeah. You touched there the controversial. Why? If they're helping to save people's lives and it's growing without a nervous system or a brain, what what potential cons or harms or risks do they pose?
Well, I don't see any risk. Well, I personally think it way worse it. But I don't know. There are people who don't eat meat, and like they consider all the there are many of them that like vegetarians, and they are against all killing of living things. So it will be controversial there. That's why this company they're really really cautious, and this sub industry they're really really cautious in terms of how they approach sentience, and like how to make this how to word it. Even like sack of organs doesn't sound sentient, and like a non-sentient clone sound like way more controversial. So but yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's the same with pigs. Like it was controversial back then, but I don't hear any controversy about this technology now. They just start in human trials, and when they will help people, I think it will be fine.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, yeah, I think that concludes breakthroughs, and certainly one to keep an eye on. Okay, and Viva City, the longevity city that you co-founded, I think is a really interesting topic, and there's lots of facets to it in terms of how it will work. But I imagine lots of people who listen to this would never heard of Viva City. So at its core, what is Viva City, and what do you hope to achieve?
Yeah, I will start a little bit, to set up the context. So the context is that, again, as I started this podcast, I said that we actually have no real breakthroughs we are sure of today. And wind industry are thinking that like we are severely underfunded. So you would think a lot of billionaires would pour a lot of money to live more, but it is not the case. It's like we did the calculation, so it's like less than 0.1% of total billionaires' net worth is going towards longevity. So it's like very, 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 very small percentage, negligible percentage goes there. And still, even with these small percentages, a lot of money is not going to to the things that would move the needle. It's going to something more incremental. I don't know, like combination, like a better combination of exercise and diet and whatever, something. I mean, which is important, but like it won't give us additional like couple of decades. It will give us a couple of years, but like not decades. I mean, if you just already do some exercise and have a decent diet, you get most of the effect from it. So like, and the thinking is we need to like really, really accelerate the industry, and something we as a humanity did in the situations like that are mega projects. Think of moon landing, an Apollo program. So it was like a huge mega project by American government. It took 10 years. It took a lot of money. Like a lot of people were working on it, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people. Manhattan Project. Again, like it was a huge concentration of resources. A lot of money went there. They built a special city, Los Alamos, where they moved a lot of top scientists and basically give them close to unlimited resources, like a lot of resources. Think of International Space Station. It is like 150 billion plus initiative, which is international. Like a lot of countries went together and built the thing which orbits the Earth and did a lot of collaborative research out there. And I think like, and we need something like that for longevity. That's the thinking in our industry to really accelerate the how things are moving forward. I like, to be honest, the International Space Station analogy the most because it's international. But also, like, anyway, so the thinking is, okay, we don't have 150 billions, we don't have even 1 billion in our industry. Like, what we can do. And so, like, people build cities to solve problems for a long time. And if you even go to ancient Sumer, they already had cities that specialized on something. So there was like a religious city, it was like a military city in Sumer empires. Soviet Union, where I was born, they had more than 80 what's called science cities. So communists just built these huge cities, poured resources, moved a lot of people, and just like, well, we don't know how to do planes. Okay, let's do special science city based on planes. And of course, most of it was related to nuclear as well. Some of them were like military technologies, but like a lot of them was just scientific problem that they wanted to solve, and so they just assembled a lot of people in one place. So like this is the thinking behind it. Like, what if we could build a special economic zone that is focused on longevity and will both attract people and capital. So, like, if we had 150 billion, we would just build city and hire best people. we have like way less money. But we can talk to governments and ask for this special economic zone and basically build a structure of taxes and laws that will incentivize faster drug discovery in this particular area. And there are already examples like that. The first example was Vitalia. It unfortunately it only existed for a year. Then it basically forked into two cities. One of is Viva City, which I'm a core part of, and another one is called Infinita. So Vitaly and Infinita, they basically stay in Prospera, which is special economic zone in the island of Roatan in Honduras. And basically, Honduras government gave them this freedom to create their own laws and their own tax policy. Still, some laws they come from Honduras government, for instance, criminal law. But like there is a proof of existence of things like that that are possible. Also, there are several U.S. states. Montana is one of them who basically passed a law that allows for early access to therapeutics. For instance, in the most parts of the U.S., you cannot access therapies that haven't been passed through phase 3 of clinical trials, of clinical development. But in Montana, you have this what's called right to try, and you can ask for this therapy. So yeah, the premise behind Viva City is that by providing these rules of the game, we can both attract investments and companies to come there. And again, like there is proof of existence. They have some success in Vitalia, which is now Infinita. And it is recently gone to the news. My friends, they have a gene therapy company. And this gene therapy was used by Kim Kardashian or another Kardashian, or like one of the Kardashians. I don't really understand Kardashians, but like one of the Kardashians, she has like a huge Instagram and huge body parts. And she went specifically to this place because she couldn't do this unregulated gene therapy in some other place. So she could basically get early access to these breakthrough therapies. There is, of course, a lot of potential problems around. So, like, if you do a law like that, and again, I'm come from ex-Soviet Union country, and we basically had these natural experiments of lack of laws in many areas, including pharma and biotech. So what basically might happen that pharma companies, they just develop their placebo drug, like a supplement-like drug, and they just it's like very cheap to produce, and they just pour a lot of money into marketing, and this is a drug against everything. And for them, basically, game theory-wise, it is better ROI to just pour money in marketing and get a lot of sales rather than to pour money and R&D and develop something useful. So there is have to guard against things like that, and there are we still very early stages there, like how to think, how to balance these things. So like we actually get we actually incentivize development of the things that work rather than the things that sell. So
yeah. So it's a really interesting topic, and I think for exercising how you would set up the city kind of reminds me of one of those real-time strategies where you got to build the city and think about the economics. Hopefully not military, but in terms of, you kind of already touched on it, wherever Viva City finds a home, I imagine you'll have to adhere to the in-country laws. For example, Honduras. Um, do you think you'll have kind of any say in terms of how that develops, or yeah, how will that work?
Yeah, so Viva City now does not have a location.
Mm.
So we are basically talking with governments about giving us like a piece of land to do a special economic zone there. And by the way, we have a bounty, quite a large bounty, if you know heads of states or other decision makers, and you can put us in contact with them. There is a huge bounty, and we decide to actually. It ends up in us building a special economic zone in this country. This is a huge bounty for it. So we are now shopping the place, talking with countries, and yeah, this is like one of the main negotiations points out there, like how much freedom in terms of basically setting of our own laws they can give us. And like with things like criminal laws, it's not like you don't want to develop everything from first principles. I mean, ideally, if you had like 150 billion, you would love to build your own courts, your own everything, your own private military. Well, probably like not private military, but like private security at least, like some basically a form of police, which is like educated and can at least speak. The same languages as the international scientists that will be living in this place. But you have to in each individual place, it's a question of negotiations. For instance, we can yield some some freedom towards, I don't know, access to a bigger number of people. For instance, like it would be good to have a little bit less of a say in laws, but to build Viva City near Los Angeles, like which is,
Yeah, that
it
that
will be.
would that would be my next question. If you could manifest a piece of land or a country or an island perhaps out of the way, maybe Hawaii, where would you pick Viva City to be based? And
Yeah, me personally, I would pick a place near the population center, which is rich and has a lot of scientists and entrepreneurs already living there. So it would be probably a Bay Area. It would be Switzerland. It would be, some large population center, probably like Paris. Um, yeah, yes. I think Switzerland, Bay Area, Boston will be ideal. Just because I've did like why I'm interested in this project, because before being an entrepreneur, I was actually working for a special economic zone, and we were building it near Moscow. So and it was like a suburbs of Moscow, like very very close to Moscow. And it was a challenge to even get people there. And yeah, I mean, it's like half an hour to 1 hour drive, and it's already a challenge to get people to move there, to get people to have offices there. They're like, oh shit, I'm quite used to drive 15 minutes to my work. I don't want to drive
yeah,
40 minutes. That sucks. So it was a huge challenge already. And what we've seen with Infinita and Vitalia in Honduras, that a lot of people came there first time to kind of, because it was exotic and interesting and just to see what happens. It's a kind of, um, cool place to be. But for the second time, very few people stayed there. Basically, almost only the team of Vitaly and Infinita, and like several other people. But like for the second time, people were like, it's Honduras. Even though it has direct flights from Miami and to other U.S. cities, it was already a huge problem. So I just think, and like we need a lot of scientists. Like we won't solve this with just random people. We need highly educated people there. So the best would be built if we could build it with in close proximity to universities and smart people.
Yeah, and how do you think you would actually govern Viva City? So, would you create a democracy? Would it be something out of a sci-fi film? Maybe an elder council of longevity experts? Have you even got that far?
Yeah, no, not really. It's basically it's so like we jumped from the cliff and we built in the plane while we're falling. We actually like what we did. So like we started it in January. So like what we've been doing these months, we've been doing basically a small gathering, a small pop-up city. I mean, it's small, quote unquote small. So it was like a whole building in central San Francisco to see like even if we could gather the like hundreds of people in one place and see what happens. So yes, we definitely could gather a lot of smart people in one place. But again, it's San Francisco, so like it's a heart of the beast. Like, well, what if it were like a remote island? And I mean, we already have a a queen of one of the very very remote islands, basically giving us like you can do everything. But it's so far from everywhere. Like I don't know if we could get anyone to come there. I mean, we definitely could if so like there is a chicken and an egg problem. So if there were therapies that are now kind of prohibited by regulators to access the market, but like we all know they work, uh, we could have opened it in a special economic zone and like people would come. But like there is we need to both develop these therapies and give early access to them. So like this is like a very interesting system to optimize. And
Mm.
yeah, so like back to your question with regards to laws. So like we primarily thinking about the laws around longevity, early access to therapies, like how to do basically like how to not to end up in a situation stem cell industry got themselves into. Because with stem cells, they've been existing for like several decades, and we're still not sure if they work or not because they were kind of forced to the fringes and like several Mexico, like Bahamas, countries like basically that encircle the U.S. And no one, like almost no one, let's put it accurately, almost no one did proper clinical trials. So all is this very anecdotal. Like Joe Rogan said, like, "Oh, I injected my knee with these things," and like, oh, suddenly everyone is injecting their knee, and we still don't know is it placebo or not. Like, like people say it work, but does it really work? So with stem cells, I actually went back and looked at the data. There are around uh, a dozen, a little bit more cell therapies that we know that work, including CAR Ts. CAR Ts are like super advanced anti-cancer therapies, which are basically like some form of cell therapy. So like, it's very, very, very few cell therapies that we know that work, and how to not end up there and at the same time give early access to therapists. Like we're thinking a lot about laws there, and how to like one of the interesting things and approaches, like how to basically outsource the FDA, like so how to outsource regulation and not do it ourselves. So like there might be some interesting ideas around there. For instance, an insurance, like a company should uh, basically be eligible and buy insurance, and insurance companies would be basically the regulator. So they would assess the risk, they would get this data, and they probably will do it much more efficient. Like if there is some competition, they'll be doing it way more efficient than the FDA. Other idea might be to, to basically save this money. Like basically, a person pays this money, but you pay a little part of this money to the actual company, and the rest of the money will only come later, only if this therapy works. So or like when we will get the data in a couple of years from the well conducted clinical trials that it works. So yeah, and there are like, and again there are several ways to do things way faster than FDA as well, and even FDA is going, for instance, for some indications they allow now to skip preclinical trials on mice and large primates for some it's not indication, but for some therapeutic modalities. So like I think if we can do a mental experiment, probably in like 50 years we won't need clinical trials at all. We would do clinical trials in silico. So everything will be done in a model of human, and it will be as good as current clinical trials, and probably preclinical and clinical trials. So like what if we can shortcut and do some part of it today, and focus on how do we get there faster, and skip work the regulation around how do we can get the in silico data, and instead of getting information on animals. So like there are like really a lot of things to think about, and so again, as I said, we did Viva Frontier Tower, which was the pop-up city, like a small experiment of like if we can get a lot of people there. And it was nice. Like we got a lot of good feedback, and that was the place to be in San Francisco for a couple of months. And now we actually are thinking about strategy, how basically deep answers to your questions, like what we should prioritize. Shall we first, do some product that, like, shall we prioritize something that works today and be less radical, but like get money, or shall we prioritize, a moonshot?
Yeah, it sounds amazing and incredibly complex.
Yeah,
There's so many things you've got to
yeah,
consider. So, yeah, amazing. Okay, so, yeah, it was one of the reasons that prompted me to get you back on. I was at the gym, and the news randomly popped up. I think it was a picture of a couple of world leaders in the East, shall we say, and they're all happy and smiles because they think they've found a way to live to. I think the figure was 120, 130, or something
150.
like that. Oh, was it 150? Do you think that there's any truth or basis to that? To have, I guess one of them could get lucky and live to 150 if they did the right things, and the stars align. But do you think there's a blueprint to follow for multiple people to get there now with the right money and the right technology.
With current technology, no, zero chance. And if things stay in about the same amount of money spent on the industry as it is being spent today, also zero chance. So the best chance they have, I'd say, like 9,500 or something like that. If the amount that is invested in longevity biotechnology stays the same. But again, if we drastically increase the amount of funding and we start doing international space station-like program for longevity today, then they stand a chance. But I can definitely talk a lot about one person of these two leaders because I'm happen to be Russian and I'm quite aware of what's going on in Russian longevity biotechnology. And even though there are like a lot of people from Russian or post-Soviet descent in the industry, a lot of them actually they moved out of Russia. And with things that happened 3 years ago, it only accelerated the move out of the country. So some people stayed there, but it's severely underfunded. So like the things are being funded. Don't get me wrong, but the numbers are laughable. So it's probably several $1 million per year. It might be like several million dollars per year, which is peanuts. You can't solve aging with this small amount of money. I mean, look at the you need X AI scale investment, like 10 billion for I think they got it twice this year, like 10 billion rounds or something like that. So like we need this scale for longevity as well. I'm a little bit more cautious and optimistic towards China. I don't know much about what's happening in China just because of the language barrier. But we don't have many longevity scientists coming up from China. They kind of, but we have a lot of papers and breakthroughs coming out of China. And I know for a fact that one of the like interesting longevity researchers, she was working in Germany. She was working on axolotls. It is one of the interesting animal models that has negligible senescence, so they basically don't show the signs of aging. And they are also known for their regenerative ability. So, like, if you cut their legs, they will grow a new one. If you cut their tails, they will grow a new one. So, like, they basically can regenerate and they don't age. So they basically don't die from age-related causes. Like, she was studying there and she showed this negligible senescence part that was actually not known before. The regeneration part was known before. She just showed it on the last Asian conference. And I know for a fact that she was given a huge amount of resources in Beijing, and she is opening her second lab there, and she is looking for PhDs, postdocs, and lab technicians. So like China has way more resources, and they definitely do something. Russia, they leader tend to be working in this KGB-like manner, everything under the radars, like secret operations. Like let's do it in secret. But the science doesn't work that way. It's like you can probably solve some. Like the aging is a too complex of a problem to just throw several scientists there and say to them, stay silent, don't talk to anyone. It's like it has to be like huge international consortium of scientists, a lot of clinical trials, a lot of trial and error. So like I'm pessimistic towards Russia and cautiously optimistic towards China doing something worthwhile in there. But probably the best would be to convince Western governments to do an international space station like scale project like that, and that was definitely moves things forward.
Yeah, I guess time will definitely tell on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, like this is very important. Like with current technology we can get I don't know, if you look to the papers you can get about 10 years with lifestyle and which is optimized more or less well. If you have Brian Johnson level of optimization, it's you can't really say scientifically because we don't have like 300 Brian Johnsons clinical trials and like a control group. But I'd say like if you are Brian Johnson, you can probably get like 20 additional years. Like
Yeah,
if you will be super cautious with today's technology again. So like we bet there is some technology development, and like all the projection they assume some level of development of technology. So like basically it's like every year we get additional like couple of weeks of life expectancy.
yeah,
And
makes sense.
this is the trend. But we want to get to the point that every year we get more than a year of additional life expectancy, and like this is a huge gap. But there is exponential nature to the technology. So like at some point this it might go exponential. The only difference is will we be alive at that point or not? So like that's what I'm afraid of. Like that like my children will get to these technologies and I will be the last generation to die. So like I want to accelerate it um, uh, as uh, as good as possible, as good as I can.
Yeah,
So like and again, like it might be like a one person like Elon Musk for space industry. Like how much Elon Musk accelerated space exploration? Decades, definitely decades. So like, it can be one man. So like that's why I want to create cities. I'm doing this hackathon right now just to get more people. Like and to one it might be a difference of one right person coming to the industry and shaking
yeah,
things up.
yeah. Talk to us. I think that segues nicely. Talk to us about your AI agents versus aging hackathon. What's it about, and how can people be part of it?
Yeah, so basically the idea is like there are very few people working on agent, probably like 5-10,000 people in the world. So let's get both more people and also like way more AI agents that will also work on the technology, and hopefully we will accelerate the progress a little bit. So there are two tracks in the hackathon. One track is fundamental research, and it is curated by two companies, Giro.ai, the company which I used to work for, and another one is Retro Bio, which is a company which is funded by none other than Sam Altman. So yeah, we got this, a behemoth of the industry, and they're quite known in San Francisco and Silicon Valley. One of the cool companies out there, one of the leaders in the field. Like they're working on a very very cool technology. Still preclinical though, but yeah. So they will curate the fundamental track. They will have some fundamental questions about aging biologies. For instance, like my favorite ones is about theories of aging, how to compare the theories against each other. Like the end goal is to actually find a theory of aging that would explain the most amount of data. So like it's either the existing theory or like a combination of the existing theories or the new theory. So this is like a very cool fundamental track, and like the fundamental track, they have this measurable outcomes, and so like this is a little bit and they have data sets. So like this is a little bit more understandable. So you optimize one number, and like the team with the biggest number wins, basically. This is the track for those who want to find a job in longevity. So because both Retro and Giro, they basically are looking to hire people if these engineers prove to be outstanding. And this is basically like a cool way to find a job there. The second track, which I'm spearheading, is focused. It's called Rapid Adoption Track. So it's basically focused on two things. It's a little bit less stringent in terms of what we ask from participants. So it's focused on two things. Either like proto companies, something that might become a product or a company. So like if you wanted to start something in longevity biotechnology, but you are an engineer or AI engineer, you like have no idea. You basically can code and you know AI quite well, but you don't know like where to apply it. So we will help you. We'll curate you. We will help you find partners. We'll help you find explore product market fit. At least put you in the direction of product market fit. Put you with marry you with the right people and the right mentors. And the other one is a sub part is a social impact part. It's basically develop something in 2 weeks that will spread the message in a better manner. It might be, for instance, like a lot of AI agents are assessed about how much they can attract money to a nonprofit. So it's one track, one thing you can do. So like we have a lot of nonprofits in longevity industry. So like if you could raise more money via agents, that's one of the things. Another thing might be something like we want to rate world politicians, like each country, and we want to rank them in how much of longevity friendly and R&D friendly they are. And that might be, for instance, like a very PRable thing, like is some random politician in a distant country might read it. Oh yeah, AI thinks I'm pro-life, so like yeah, let's do that. And we can actually, because like we also live in our own bubbles. Like we are an international community of people who want to live as long as possible, but like we don't have that much people from Asia. Like we don't have a lot of people from Australia, and like I'm basically not one person. So yeah, we just Latin America as well. So yeah, we shall see how it goes. And I invite everyone to participate. There are, again, for this, we have special prizes by Immortal Dragons, that is a venture capital fund. We have special prize by Athena DAO, that is DAO focused on female reproductive longevity as well. So like a femtech theme AI agent will get special prizes as well. We have Viva DAO Bio Protocol, which are like also the crypto related, like a good crypto company that sponsor us. And for the finals, I invited several VCs and several angels groups. So basically the focus is to get several people to start a couple of companies. Like if 1 or 2 companies get started as a result of this hackathon, I think it will be a success.
Sounds amazing. I think it seems like a really good way for people who are maybe in other areas of AI, who want to come and try longevity, to get involved with the community and see how they like it. And to your point at the start of the call, it's as a recruiter, when I speak to engineers or researchers, the motivation is never money. It's always about how they can make an impact. And I don't think there's any certainly top 3, top 5 most impactful problems to work on right now, and in many cases the top impactful problems. So Yeah, I'll put the link to the hackathon in the show notes, and link to your profile for people who want to get involved. And so it sounds like it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, hopefully. And again, like with you mentioned the AI engineers, a lot of people think AI like we should just YOLO on AI, and AI will solve aging for us. I mean, it might be true, but like let's assign some probabilities. Like there is again, people say 10 to 20% chance of misaligned AI, and we basically all die. AI people can't do. I can't really do anything with it. Probably AI people think they can do something, but I think the genie is out of the bottle. So like the
Yeah.
China and US are in a game theory situation where they can't really stop. So like they can't. US cannot allow China to be the first company to the country to develop better AI than they. So like it's just a game theoretic impossibility to stop the race. You can only curate it. It's in such a way that it's not misaligned AI. But like there is also a chance that AI will solve aging. Like let's put some probability on that. But there is a big chance that AI will hit a sort of a brick wall. So let's say it stays around the current capabilities and get like not exponentially better, but like 5-10% better every year, and then it will get like 3 to 5% better every year, and then like 1% better every year. So like it might be that LLM is kind of at that end at the end of the day. So we still and like probably we're talking a lot about it in the industry, and like it probably the first thing that let's say a strong AI, like a super intelligent AI arrives, right now, and we ask it like, so how do we solve aging? And the answer is okay. We need to generate more data. It's like let's do this, and of course it will help us. It will say, okay, let's do these experiments. Do it way faster, and but it still will take a lot of time to do them, even though like it will be optimized. But like we might as well start doing it today. So like we don't know if strong AI will come at all. We don't know if it will come in 10 years. We don't know if it will come. It might come in 50 years, but we will be dead by then. So it
Yeah.
will be too late. So my point is yes, I think AI is like a huge accelerant and a huge enabling technology, and I mean we're doing the whole hackathon how to use AI to accelerate the progress, but you don't have I would really be skeptical towards just relying on AI development to solve everything else. So I would really hedge our bets, and
Yeah.
what is more important than life? I mean, yeah, for me, nothing.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think great to have you on for part two today. Some really interesting topics covered. I know I think I said this on the first podcast, but since we've chatted, I'm more involved in longevity in terms of how I can really improve the quality of my life. And I genuinely think more people are starting to talk to it, and I'm a big fan of the industry. So anything I can do to support and help spread the word, I think,
Cool.
like you say, it's a super impactful problem, and yeah, look forward to seeing the Viva City journey continue, and long may it continue.
Cool. Thanks a lot for inviting me. See you around.
Yeah, thank you, Alexey.